try these sunglasses on, I see you're squinting. I put them on and I said, wow. I said, this is really, I'm not squinting and everything seems clearer or sharper. And he starts filling me in. He says, these sunglasses were made for NASA. They're for the space program. They block all the blue light. Blue light isn't good for you. And he went through all kinds of explanations as to the dangers of ultraviolet light. A lot of things I didn't know about, and I know the public didn't know about either. So I said, well, I'd like to sell these. He says, no, you don't want to sell these. He says, the guy that's manufacturing is going out of business. They sell for $400 to the military. There's very few of them left. He says, I wouldn't bother with it. I said, okay. Well, anyway, after I discovered that that full-page ad was missing, or that product was missing, I went out and I called my friend. I said, I've got to have that product. I've got 2 days to finish the ad, finish the insert, but I got 2 months to source the product. So he sends me that one pair, I photograph it, I write an ad within a couple days, and I run the thing. And it turns out that that ad, out of all of the other ads, of the other 8 ads, 7 ads, was the most successful ad that we'd ever run. I mean, it just pulled like crazy. Now here I'm selling electronics, and here comes along a pair of sunglasses. Totally, and again, I had this problem, and there was an opportunity there, and I grabbed it. Anyway, it took off, and within the first year, just to give you kind of a rough idea, within the first year, we did a print campaign. And after the success, by the way, in the United catalog or insert, I then rolled out to every magazine I could get my hands on. And I sold about 100,000 pair over about an 8-month period. 100,000 pair. Infomercials were coming out. And I said to myself, wow, here's a great opportunity. And I told some of my friends about it. I said, well, how could you spend a half hour selling a single pair of sunglasses? People like to try them on, look through them, and all this kind of stuff. I said, well, I think I can do it. And so, really what an infomercial, what any advertisement is, it's entertainment. Think about it, it's entertainment. And so with infomercials, what you do is you pick a format that people are accustomed to because it's entertainment. For example, remember the Larry King format, or the Dean Braciosi's format, where he's being interviewed. My format was candid camera. I'd walk up to somebody, hand them a pair of blue blockers, they'd say, oh wow, and I'd capture that. And that created a lot of curiosity. Josh talked about curiosity a little bit earlier. You want to build curiosity. You don't want to tell them the whole story. You want to get them sucked into reading. You know what I found out, that if in my ads were like 1,000 words, 500, 800 words, really wordy, and people would say to me, who reads all that stuff? And I said, if you build the curiosity, people will read it. If they read the first 2 paragraphs, they'll read the whole ad. And so there's some science to this. So you want to create the curiosity, get them into the funnel. Everybody calls that's a new term now, the funnel, and get them to start reading. So anyway, remember I said we sold 100,000 pair in 8 months? Well, we sold 100,000 pair in 1 month on an infomercial. That was just the start. We ran infomercials for 6 years, and we were up to like 300,000 pair a month. And we were selling all over the world. Our infomercials were running, some of them dubbed, some of them in English, but they were running all over the world. It was a huge success. We sold over 20 million pair. And we went on QVC. It was on QVC, they gave me 5 time slots, and they brought in like 40,000 pair of blue blockers to sell. And I sold out within the first time slot. And it was so shocking to QVC that the president of QVC at the time asked to see the footage to see if I said anything that was illegal. But anyway, so that worked out really well. And so that product took off. Now, I'm going to share with you, I wrote a book called Trigger. And in the book, I talk about 30 psychological triggers that motivate, inspire, and trigger a sale. And so I'm going to share a few of the best triggers that I have found that work the best. And maybe this would be very helpful to you. The first trick, by the way, do you mind if I take off my jacket? It's getting a little One of the triggers that I found to be the most powerful, one that actually doubles and sometimes triples response, is what I call satisfaction conviction. Satisfaction conviction. And what that is it's you know what the trial period is. Trial period, if you're not happy, return it within 30 days, 60 days. And as Josh alluded to, the longer the trial period, the more people, forget to return it. They just don't bother. I found that true with blue blockers. We had an offer that said, oh, by the way, what is a satisfaction conviction? It is something that it's an offer to the consumer that's so incredible that the consumer is going to say to themselves, boy, if that person will make that offer, he must really or she must really believe in their product. Okay, I'll go for it. In other words, I'll give you an example. We offered an unlimited return privilege. We said, if you're not happy with blue blockers, you could return it anytime within your lifetime for a full and complete refund. Now that's a satisfaction conviction. Why? Because people then say, well, they must really like their product so much. I mean, they must feel their product is such a good product that they're making this incredible offer. So the more incredible your offer, the greater the chances are of you doubling and sometimes tripling your response. I found that to be true with a lot of my products and a number of my ads. If I can come up with something that sounds so hard to believe that, that company's going to get ripped off if their product doesn't meet these standards. So anyway, satisfaction conviction. The second one that I particularly think is extremely important is raising an objection and then resolving it. Raising an objection and then resolving it. The reason for that is when you're selling a product and there might be some disadvantage to that product, bring it out. Mention it. Because you want to build trust with your consumers. And they know what that disadvantage is. And so you bring it out and then you resolve it in a very positive way. It's kind of warm in here. Okay, any questions before I go on?